November 10th, 2016. Meeting is called to order at 9:03. Before we start the meeting, Mr. Rutledge, you said you wanted to have a comment, please?
Yes, I wanted to say, and we talked a minute ago, that today is the 241st anniversary of the United States Marine Corps. And I know a number of the board members have served in the armed forces, and I want to give a shout out to my brother-in-law who's a Marine, and just say that while we say the pledge today, maybe we'll think about that and be appreciative that we're able to sit up here and pontificate and go where we go today because of people that have done that for 241 years. Pretty impressive.
Very good. And we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Knapp, do you have any announcements or changes to the agenda?
Good morning, I do. I have one. Item number 3, which is PDMU 1612ZG, Lakewood Ranch Commerce Park LLC, Lorraine Corners Northeast. There is an additional stipulation and revised recommended motion in the update memo, and that concludes the changes.
Ms. Schenk, any changes or announcements to the agenda?
No changes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, any comments to make before we get to the first item?
No, sir.
Is 4 members enough to,
Ms. Schenk said we do have a quorum, even though there's only 4 of us today. All right. Ms. Knapp, would you please read into the document? Oh, I'm sorry, did
Citizen comments?
swear in any of the comments?
We need to do citizen comments, and then I do need to swear in those who plan to speak today.
If there's any citizens who would like to make any comments today that is not associated with today's agenda, please come forward.
Whoa.
All right, with that, clerk, would you make swearing in, please?
Do you swear or affirm that the factual statements and factual representations which you're about to present to this board will be truthful and accurate? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Knapp, could you please read into the agenda the first item?
Right, the first item under advertised public hearings, presentations upon request, is item number 1, PDMU 1610P, SMT Auto LLC, US 41 apartment complex, and this is to be continued to no date set and to be re-advertised.
Okay. Then the same, please, for item number 2.
Item number 2, PDMU 1605G, WSI Land Holdings LLC, Stonegate Preserve. This is a general development plan for a mixed-use project consisting of 791 residential units, a community center, a private school or daycare on approximately 415 acres of land on the south side of Buckeye Road and west at I-75 Palmetto in the PDMU Plan Development Mixed-Use Zoning District.
And related to this one, I would like to have a presentation, okay, because this goes back, I believe, to 2005 when it was last approved, and I'd just like to have another presentation, please, if possible, all right? Is that all right with the commissioners?
For item 1, we do need to take public comment, and there is a motion to continue that item to move date set.
Oh, thank you, I see, right. All right, if we could go back, please, to item number 1, commissioners. Do I have a motion, or is there anyone that would like to speak on item number 1? All right, no activity there. All right, from motion, please, to continue.
Mr. Chair? I motion to continue number 1, PDU 16-10P to an uncertain time or date.
Okay, do we have a second on that?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So passed. Item number 2, then, please, which we said we're going to have a presentation. Okay.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Brendan Rowe. I'm with Building Development Services. I'm the case planner for this case, and I've been sworn. I'm going to go through a quick overview of the history of the project. Like you said, it's been around or the site's been subject to projects for a while now. I'll do a quick spiel, give you some of the key points, and then I'll let the applicant step forward and kind of supplement that.
Okay.
In April of 2005, a rezone request came through for this project that rezoned it from an A1 to PDMU. It was also approved for preliminary site plan for the same number of units and same mixture of uses that we have today. So you have the same number of residential units, the opportunity for a daycare or private school, as well as that community center or park recreational facility. That project moved forward through the review process and was granted an administrative approval for final site plan. Both of those approvals have since expired, which is why we're here today with just the GDP, which is a new plan. The GDP in Manatee County does not allow them to get concurrency. However, it is a plan that does not have an expiration date, which is why they're going that route. They'll have to come back in for PSP, FSP at a future date. At this point, I'll let the applicant step forward and provide any other information they'd like. The project itself, there's no changes being made to the original approval. The site is the same, the acreage is the same. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those as well.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Good morning. I'm Diane Fennick. I'm with Height Design, and I am here representing,
You've been sworn.
yes, I have been sworn, sir.
Thank you.
I'm here representing the applicant, WSI, for this application. I think that Brandon pretty concisely explained what was happening with the property. If there are any questions that anyone has, I'd be happy to answer them for you, but I feel that if I did any more of a presentation, I'd just be representing what he said. Or, you know, I would be repeating what he said.
My only concerns, and it's a small C on concerns, my only concerns is we've got quite a few specific and special approvals requested for this now. In 2005, the whole county was a little different in the development construction stage than it is right now. And then in addition to that, we have a memo from the schools saying that one of the schools will be completely filled. I believe it's elementary. They'll have to go to a school, and the high school will be filled. So those were some of the issues that I was concerned with today. Can you address just a couple of the specific approvals being requested?
Some of the specific approvals, if I remember correctly from the 2005 approval, some of these are almost a carryover from back in 2005. We are partially located in an entranceway area, so one of the things that the staff was concerned about was the buffers, and many of the buffers are adjacent to what are going to be stormwater ponds, so that reduction was sort of a non-issue. We worked with the school board, and I believe the school board didn't have any real objections to what we were doing. I'm not sure how else to
I don't
address
think-
that. I mean,
I don't think it should be read as an objection. I was just reading the comments that they made, right?
right. I'm sure, you know, we'd be happy to work with the school in the future if, you know, something were to come up. But currently, you know, what we're really looking for is just to maintain the entitlements that our client has.
We do have a member from the school board. Would you like to make a comment, please? on that?
Yes, good morning. In regards to this property, when we did the school report, the current zoning, attendance zones for this is Tillman, Lincoln, and Palmetto High School. Both the elementary and the middle school currently have capacity, but when we look at the whole entire school service area, which is all North County Service Area 1, we are out of elementary school capacity. We can use the contiguous service areas, so as far as concurrency goes for elementary schools, there's no issues there. With high schools, we are currently out of high school capacity. With the passing of the sales tax yesterday, we are anticipating amending our budget to fund a new high school, and it will be in this service area. And once that happens, or if that happens, I should say, if my board approves that, then the high school capacity issue will be taken care of as well.
Okay.
Thank you for that
Oh,
clarification.
I do just want to note one other thing. We do have a potential school site in this area in Artisan Lakes. We don't own it. It's not exactly dedicated to us, but it is within 2 miles of this property. So we just ask that if you have sidewalks, that they extend along at least your property frontage and have at least 2 sidewalks coming out of your entrance on the both, the east and the west side for buses to come through and pick up.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant? All right, thank you. Brandon, all right.
I just want to reiterate real quick that there are 4 special approvals and there are 2 specific approvals for this application. These are all essentially carryovers from that original approval. The only new special approval that I included in my review was special approval number 2, which is for a project that is non-residential exceeding 30,000 square feet in the UF3 and Res 6 future land uses. The applicant hasn't expressed that the proposed daycare or school or community center may exceed that. It was more or less to ensure that they didn't have to come back and to cover their basis. They'll be consistent with the FAR or intensities that are allowed on the site for those uses, though.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Commissioners, just before we have a discussion amongst ourselves, is there any ex parte communications that need to be stated for this item?
No, sir.
Any commissioner
Public comment.
questions? Any public comments? No public comments? All right. No commissioner comments? Okay. Do I have a motion then, please, for item number 2?
Mr. Commissioner?
Yes.
Based upon the staff report, evidence presented, comments made at the public hearing, and finding the request to be consistent with Manatee County Comprehensive Plan and Manatee County Land Development Code as conditioned herein, I move to recommend approval of Manatee County zoning ordinance number PDMU-16-05G, approval of the general development plan and stipulations 8.1 through 8.2, B.1 through B.3, C.1 through C.7, D.1, and E.1, granting special approval for a project with a gross density exceeding 1 dwelling unit per acre in the UF3 future land use category 2 with a non-residential project exceeding 30,000 square feet in the UF3 and RS6 future land use category that is mixed use in the UF-3 and residential 6 future land use categories, and 4 that is partially located within a geographical area designed as an entranceway, granting specific approval of alternates to Land Development Code Section 701.3B3 and 900A6.2 of the Land Development Code to reduce the required roadway buffer along a classified roadway from 20 feet to 15 feet as recommended by staff.
Thank you. Do we have a second on that motion?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor of the motion, please?
Aye.
Against? Okay. Motion unanimously passed. Thank you. Ms. Knapp, could you please read in item number 3, please?
Yes, item number 3 is PDMU 1612ZG, Lakewood Ranch Commerce Park LLC, Lorraine Corners Northeast. This is a rezone of approximately 68 acres, generally located north of State Road 70, east of 59th Avenue East, east of Lorraine Road, and west of Post Boulevard, from general agricultural to planned development mixed use, zoning districts, and a general development plan for a mixed-use project, including a maximum of 220 residential units, a maximum of 573,500 square foot of non-residential use, or a combination of residential, commercial, and office uses not exceeding the maximum threshold of a combined project, approving a schedule of uses as voluntarily proffered by the applicant and attached as Exhibit B.
Thank you. Commissioners, do we have a request for a presentation?
Not for me. No, sir. Not for me.
No need for that? All right. Any citizens' comments on item number 3? comments, okay. No comments from the board, I'm assuming?
No, thank you.
No ex parte communication?
No, sir.
Yes, please.
I just wanted to note that for this particular development, it's near two of our schools, McNeil Elementary and Nolan. It is within the 2-mile walking radius, so we will not be providing transportation for these students. And we may need 3 to 4 crossing guards for them to cross at State Road 70 and Lorraine Road, and possibly maybe even over on Post and Greenbrook Boulevard. The school district has notified the MSO when we do our school report, this is just a little highlight from our school report, that this is coming. There's another development that's already started down the street, the apartments complex, it was Davis, it's Lux Apartments now, where the parents have already called asking for crossing guards. But just to let you know that these students that may come from here will not be provided transportation, and they will be having to cross this road. So again, with the sidewalks, we're just asking that there's sidewalks in place to provide them with a safe path to these schools.
Thank you, okay. Any other comments, commissioners? Do we have a motion on item number 3?
I'll make the motion, Chairman. Based upon the staff report, evidence presented, comments made at the public hearing, and the finding the request to be consistent with the Manatee County Comprehensive Plan and the Manatee County Land Development Code as contained herein, I move to recommend adoption of the Manatee County zoning ordinance number PDMU 1612ZG, approval of the general development plan with stipulations A1, B1 through B3, C1 through C4, D1 through D4, granting special approval for the project located within the watershed overlay policy 2.2.2.2.4. Number 2, for mixed and multi-use project in the REO residential office, retail office residential future land use category policy 2.2.1.17.4. And number 3, for the project located within the MU-C mixed use commercial future land use category policy 2.2.1.28.2, adopting findings for the specific approval and granting specific approval for the alternative to the Land Development Code section 402.11.d.3, minimum front yard setback in the Plan Development Code zoning district as recommended by staff.
Thank you. The easy part, do we have a second on that? Oh, just a minute.
Mr. Chairman, I just need to mention that the motion was changed. We added that additional stipulation. So it's stipulations D1 through D5, if you would amend your.
I'll amend my motion.
Make them reread it again.
That was a half marathon.
I'd second that motion.
All in favor of item number 3, please, the motion?
Aye.
So passed unanimously, thank you. Okay. Those are the 3 items on the agenda. Commissioners, any other comments today?
No,
Do I
sir.
have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Adjourn. Thank you.